So what's really important is that when you're mixing a song and when you're working on something that you've done before, you want to review previous mixes of it to put your head back in that place where you zoned in and got the balances right. Now, what we notice is there's definitely some choir movement that we have to be aware of. We have left and right choirs talking to each other, and we have big choirs that respond to the guitar solo. So we just got to remember that instinctively we went down that road and got it right. The great thing about the track is it's a three-piece. It's a three-piece with choirs. So Matthew, who is our guitar player, piano player, singer in the band, basically the 12 faders he has all play separately. So we'll have 4 tracks of piano, we'll have 6 tracks of main guitar, or we'll have a stereo pair of solo. Dominic, the drummer, obviously has his section, and Chris, the bass player, has his section. So the battle is kind of getting the choirs to work with the track. So we've gone through everything so far. We've gone through getting a sound in the drums, getting a sound on the guitars, checking phases between guitars, checking phases in the drums, getting a sound on the bass distortion. We have some percussion loops in there, claps and noises, right? Like timpanis and explosions, what makes it three-dimensional is how our choirs sit with this track, how we mix the choir with the rock vibe. We have his one lead vocal track and his choirs. So we're at the point now where we can look at the track, and before we start mixing, we're gonna look at our secondaries right here, this part of the song, and see what they do to help our drums. So before we start to automate, we're just gonna look at our parallel drum compression and our parallel guitar EQ. So we have parallel drum compression, number 1, parallel drum EQ, and then we have parallel, actually, instrument compression, so instrument EQ. So let's look at that. We'll play right from here. There's our timpani. There's our timpani. Okay. So in that exercise, you saw me just playing and listening and comparing. I was able to add in the secondaries, which is the parallel compression, parallel EQ, just to add a little more coverage, a little more top, a little more snap. And then I see that, the adding of the secondaries with the guitar helps add some width and some depth to the guitar sound. So as I've done before, I add my parallels toward the end and build it that way. So now at this point, I've experimented with everything. Now is to see if I can balance this and create the mix that works for the song. Let's recap before we crack out the automation here. We've gone through our song here, taking it from 96 tracks down to 44. Not too many comps that are really a worry. It acquires, but it's all one performance. Multiple drum rooms to a pair, works because it's a blend, and so on and so forth to get it down to manageable size, but without really making a comp where an instrument is subjective to not working. We've gone through, and as you see, we have pianos, little console limiting, little limiting just to take the top off, adding some top on the console. Now on the console, on an analog console, when you crank the top end all the way up, it's not like a plug-in. It bends, it's more subtle. So adding some EQ, no outboard compression there. Vocals, we make a curve to get a little bit more of a carving with his vocal and the outboard compressor. Our choirs, we went down the path of air and subtle compression to hold them in, and a little bit of reverb. Move on to the guitars, no reverb, no delay, just EQ, no compression. Great sound that he got. Only flipping the phase on our direct fuzz tracks to get the fatness. Then we move on to our guitar solo. No compression on that, just some EQ, but we're adding some chorusing, some reverb, a couple of different delays. We're making it a little bit more larger than life. We move on to our drums. The drums, we're adding some compression to the toms, a little tiny compression to the snare drum. Their samples we're compressing, and a couple of our samples we're compressing. Aside from that, a little EQ, some top, some impact. We flip the phase and the overheads because we want to make sure that we have the most bottom out of that as possible. We move on to the bass. We've just EQ'd the DI and the sub, make them compact. The distortion aspect, which is the character of his sound, lots of mid-range, really bitey, that's their thing. Then we get to we have some percussion, some snaps, claps, some impact hits. We add some tops so they cut through, no compression there, just some reverb to help the tail. So all of that, pretty simple. This is all about a balance and getting the character of the drums and bass and the trio to work, and then work our choirs around it and work our dynamics around it. We have our group set up, lead vocal on a group, choirs on a group, bass on a group, piano on a group, main guitar on a group, solo on a group. It's all in front of us, okay? We have our master fader, we have our effects. We're using parallel EQ, parallel compression, vocal reverb, little drum reverb, slap, chorusing, delay for the vocal, long delay for the solo. We have those all set. So now we're going to engage some automation. So let's get mixing here. Automation time. Automation is a simple act of remembering the moves you make. In your Pro Tools sessions, you just put everything into red, everything into right. This automation is one of the earliest automation systems ever designed. It's super simple. I like it that way because I want to focus on my mix, not focus on latching, reading, writing, But all this can be accomplished in Pro Tools with any of your automation systems. So all we're doing is we're going to go into right, absolute, we're going to rewind and punch in and continue till the end of the song. The good thing about this is that you take your pass, you record your levels, you get to a section, you change it. When you rewind, it doesn't change your levels back to the old setting. Since it's a VCA automation, the faders don't move. So you just punch in and it's where the faders are, which I think is really great. So where the faders are, physically, is where your automation joins. That's very helpful in creating mixes that are dynamic, because one of the big hindrances in automation is when you rewind, it brings the fader levels back to the rewind spot. Doesn't leave them static. So I'm sure there's ways around it. I just haven't found them, but on this system, I don't have to worry about it. So let's get automating. So we're gonna go to the top and we're gonna get this party started. So I'm gonna bring my master fader down a little bit. I'm gonna go to the top. I'm gonna put this thing in record. I'm gonna wait for it to enable. There it is. This was done 4 years ago, so we put up an existing 48-track digital tape, controlled by the console, controlled by the automation. It's a 4-minute and 20-second song. And here we go. Let's start automating Survival. Execute. Little 10 seconds of pre-roll. I have a screen of green left over from the 80s. So we'll check our first balance.
vengeance is mine, and I won't give.
So what we did there is a great thing is that you get your balance of how the song's going to start, and you can go back and go. Very important. So you play it, finesse it, go back, lock it in. So it seems like the snaps, we get those a little bit lower in the front. So go back, get our piano. Okay, so we adjust our effect. We just work the kinks out of it there. Start one more time, popping it in there. Great thing about this, be able to just pop it in and update it. That was pretty good, wasn't it? Left hand.
Race, life's a race, and I'm gonna win. Yes, I'm gonna win. The fuse, and I'll never lose.
Choir number 2.
To survive, whatever it takes.
Make their entrance a little bit grander.
And I'll never lose. And I choose to survive, whatever it takes. You won't pull ahead. I'll keep up the pace, and I'll reveal my strength.
Back to the drum entrance one more time.
Race, life's a race, and I'm gonna win. Yes, I'm gonna win. And I'll light the fuse, and I'll never lose. And I choose to survive, whatever it takes. You won't pull ahead. I'll keep up the pace, and I'll reveal my strength to the whole.
Choir number 3.
Race. Yes, I am prepared to stay alive, and I won't forgive. And vengeance is mine, and I won't give in, because I choose to thrive.
Then we're gonna make that a little more dramatic.
I won't forgive. Vengeance is mine.
So we're gonna enable our, right when that big moment hits, we're gonna add our parallel EQ. We're gonna add some more reverb to the drums, some more delay to the vocals, make it a bit more dramatic. One thing we notice here is that we wanna make sure the vocal's not too loud in the front of the song. Let's just start one more time.
Life's a race, and I'm gonna win.
Start with him one more time.
Life's a race, and I'm gonna win. Yes, I'm gonna win. And I'll light the fuse, and I'll never lose. And I choose to survive, whatever it takes. You won't pull ahead, I'll keep up the pace. And I'll reveal my strength to the whole human race. Yes, I am prepared to stay alive.
So our next big move is going to be when the solo hits.
Vengeance is mine, and I won't give in.
Right here.
Because I choose to thrive.
No, I don't think that feedback should be that loud in front of that.